Robin Summer is the newest character coming in version 4.5 and she is almost here. She's also our first non-Unfairuse Remembrance character and she's looking like a unit that can improve both old teams and some of the newer teams. So in this video I'm going to go through pretty much everything you need to know about how to play and build her, starting with her kit recap. You can pretty much skip this section if you already know what she's capable of, her best light cones, relic sets, planar ornaments, teams, best eidolons to invest, and pretty much everything else you need to know. Before we begin, please hit the like and subscribe button. Now if you have done that, let's get this video started. Now to start things off, what exactly does Robin Summer do? Robin Summer is a wind unit following the path of remembrance. Her talent gives her a mammoth sprite called Summer Songbirds, along with a resource called Vibes, which can be increased whenever any ally takes action. While Songbird is on the field, and once you reach 6 vibes, you summon another one and gain 12 stacks. Then summon another one and enter fever state while also deploying a zone. During this state, she becomes immune to crowd control and cannot take actions herself. Meanwhile, the zone allows all ally attacks to ignore defense based on the number of vibes she currently has. Her talent also creates a songbird turn and countdown on the action order while she is in fever state, while also increasing the damage dealt. When the songbird gets its turn, it deals AoE damage and reduces her vibes. Once her vibes reach 0, the songbirds or the mammoth sprite disappear and the fever state ends. On top of that, while the memos is on the field, enemies will take increased damage depending on how many songbirds are currently active. Her skill summon mammoth sprites or heals them if they are already on the field. Her ultimate advances the action of one ally while also regenerating some of their energy. The ally that gets advanced will now generate 5 vibe stacks whenever they or their mammoth sprite attacks, and that ally can be the only one to receive the action advance for the next 2 turns. Her technique advances her own action, give her vibes, and also provide all allies with a damage boost. For Robin Summer bonus trace abilities, the first one increases attack for allies who scale with attack, otherwise it provides crit damage to characters who don't scale with attack. The second bonus trace makes vibe generation also restore energy whenever she has been shielded or healed. And the third one increases the crit rate of Robin Summer and her memo by 50%. Overall, Robin Summer actually has a pretty simple kit for a remembrance character. Her talent handles the state and stack mechanics, while her ultimate handles the action advance part. Then obviously you have the single target energy restoration, and the memo handle the debuffing and the damage portion. But with this new layout, she honestly feels more like a direct upgrade to RMC. Regardless, Robin Summer is looking like extremely strong support. She provides some ridiculous buffs like defense ignore and increased damage taken, while also having some personal damage through her mammoth sprites, along with fairly frequent action advance and energy restoration. Playing Robin Summer is a little less complicated than you might expect. First of all, getting into her sinking state is mostly automatic. She needs 6 stacks from her team, and she needs to take her first turn so she can summon her bird. Those 6 stacks can come from actions at the start of the combat, hits from damage dealing techniques, or more importantly, healing and shielding. This can happen once per target's turn, whether that target is ally or enemy. Huahuo is especially good at this because she can automatically heal the entire team whenever their turn starts. Hyacinth is also great at generating stacks thanks to Ika's reactive healing whenever someone loses HP. She's also useful because of her massive HP buff, which helps increase Robin's attack buff. Then there's Permancer, whose gimmick is attacking and shielding at the same time. This lets him generate a bunch of 2 vibe stacks through Soul Dragon's attacks and his ultimate. Because Robin can be used in so many different teams, her opening rotation is always going to be varied. But generally, you can expect to get her into her zone before your team reaches its first major damage window. So with her kit out of the way, let's move on to how you should actually build her. Let's move on to Robin Summer's best relic sets and the planar ornaments. Her best relic set is going to be the 4-piece deliverer. This gives crit rate and HP along with a damage dealt buff after using a basic attack or skill. It's pretty much perfect for her. The crit rate makes it even easier to reach that 100% crit rate goal. HP is a stat she scales from, and the team-wide damage dealt buff fits perfectly with her role as a support. However, Robin Summer is also one of those characters who can basically just work with almost anything. So honestly, any supportive set that provides useful stats can get the job done. 4-piece messenger is great if you simply want to make the entire team faster, but the problem is that the uptime on this option is not going to be particularly good. For planar ornaments, energy related sets are naturally going to be the best. Von Wack is generally the best option because it allows you to set up your buffs really quickly. This guarantees a faster first turn skill, especially when you are building her slow. although keep in mind that her technique and signature already provide effects that are somewhat similar to Van Wyck by default. But Lushaka is also great if you are playing with attack scaling DPS. You will also gain the additional 5 energy regen from the passive. For her main stats, I already explained it on one of my videos regarding should you pull Robin Summer or not. There I stated that there are some situations where Robin build is going to be different depending on the team and the number of supports you are using. As many of you already know, Robin's attack percentage buff scales directly from her maximum HP. The problem is that Robin is also a sub DPS who wants crit stats and speed, so balancing everything becomes a little complicated. The easiest way is to follow a simple rules. If you are using HP scaling team where her attack amplification is less important, or a setup with 3 supports such as using high scene with Ashblade composition, then you should focus on personal damage. In that case, the recommended setup is crit on body piece, speed boots, HP orb, and energy regen on the rope. So this points that her damage contribution can be significant due to M-Blade buffs and debuffs, followed by Ashfell's buff together with Hyacinth's max HP boost. Since all of her team will not only contribute to the damage contribution, but the buffs as well, her Memo's damage will hit like a truck. But if you are only running 2 supports or playing attack scaling team, for example in Himeko Nova team, then HP body becomes much better option because Robin's own damage contribution is lower here. Sunday here only buff the primary carry, Permancer also only give the attack bonus, where her Memo damage will not be affected due to her heavy HP scaling, so getting a stronger team buff becomes more valuable. Finally, if you are running 0 or 1 support, for example in Agalia's team, Robin's personal damage becomes almost irrelevant. In that situation, it is better to build her as a full support with triple HP plus enrich regen. Make sure that you use Van Wyck to ensure she can quickly use her skill at the start of the battle and let her immediately enter singing state. But there are still few exceptions. For teams such as Ashblade, where turn frequency is extremely important, speed remains a priority regardless of the rest of the build. On the other hand, characters such as Himeko Nova simply want as much attack as possible from Robin, so maximizing her HP scaling becomes the focus here. If you want Robin's optimal personal damage setup, make sure she reach at least 156 speed in combat or that her Memo sprite reaches 280 speed. Once you hit that breakpoint, you can safely focus on the rest of her offensive stats. For relation carry specifically, you also want to try keeping Robin's attack higher than theirs so they can receive her crit damage buff. This should be fairly easy to achieve in most cases, although Evanesia can be a little different. Okay, now let's talk about the lightcone options. Obviously, we have to start with her signature lightcone. It increases her HP, give her a skill point after using her ultimate, and when entering combat, it advances her own action while increasing the speed of all allies for 2 turns. For alternatives, things get a little rough. Most of the good options are either already being used by another character, or Robin Summer can only take advantage of part of what the lightcone provides. Some premium options include Hyacinth's lightcone. You probably don't want to take it away from Hyacinth herself, but the speed increase, HP drain that can buff Memo spread attacks, and the debuff at least work on Robin Summer. Evernight Lightcone is another option. Again, it's not ideal, and I definitely would not recommend taking it away from Evernight, but the HP increase, some of the buffs, and the energy restoration can still work for Robin Summer. For other options, S5 Story is a good choice just for the HP alone. S5 Memory is probably the only genuinely worthy free-to-play option, although it literally does not work half the time. So yeah, her Lightcone situation is looking a little bit bad, but at least her stats are pretty straightforward. Okay, let's just briefly review her eidolons and why they are recommended to be infested over her signature. Again, I already talked about this in my previous Who to Pull patch 4.5 video. Her E1 records non-true damage dealt by allies, and whenever the Songbird attacks, it deals additional true damage to the enemy with the highest HP based on the recorded damage and Robin's current vibes. This will let her contribute more to the team's damage. Because of this, once you get E1, your build can start focusing more on crit damage and offensive relic sets, so you can take full advantage of this extremely strong eidolon. Then if you can, proceed with her E2 to get more vibe stacks, which then translates to more buffs for your team, since the max limit of her vibe is now 70 instead of 50. In addition, her kit now provides all tap rest spam, which is a very massive buff for your whole team. So this is the main reason her early eidolons are far more recommended than her signature, but only if you can afford it. This does not make her a bad support even at E0S0. Now let's get into her teams, and if you have not figured it out by now, one of Robin Summer's biggest strengths is just how universal she is. She can accent upgrade in a huge number of teams. Once again, I already made a complete video just for her team synergies only, feel free to check it if you have the time. So it's already obvious that any sustain could have a great synergy with her, starting from Permancer that can refresh his shield duration consistently and lead to more vibes generation. Same with Huohuo as well, whose healing will also be activated once any ally turn start, and this way Robin can generate more vibes. Hyacinth constantly heals the team through Little Ika, her skill, and Little Ika's automatic healing whenever allies get hit. Every one of those heals help Robin generate vibes, so Hyacinth ends up building Robin's resources incredibly quickly. If you have Hyacinth's E1, things get even better. Every time ally attacks, the entire team gets healed, and those heals also generate additional vibes for Robin. On top of that, Hyacinth increases the team's max HP through one of her talents, which directly benefits Robin since she scales with HP. So these three sustains are her best teammates by far. For Mono Remembrance, specifically Evernight main carry, Robin Summer is a huge upgrade for Evernight teams, essentially replacing Remembrance Trailblazer as her new best support. Her frequent action advance synergize perfectly with Evernight, while Evernight's memo sprites generate plenty of vibes to further benefit Robin's kit. Overall, Evernight plus Hyacinth, Robin Summer, and Cyrene is expected to be one of Evernight's strongest teams once Robin's releases. Robin Summer is not as valuable for Castoris teams because it's difficult to find a teammate worth replacing. In the standard Castoris, Evernight, Hyacinth, Cyrene, replacing Evernight or Cyrene would be a tough choice, and Robin does not synergize with the Castoris as strongly as she does with Evernight. She can still work, but her value is significantly lower for dedicated Castoris teams. Then if we go outside of Mono Remembrance, we can see Himeko Nova teams as the next best synergy with Robin. Robin Summer is a very strong support for Himeko Nova, especially in team with Sunday and Permancer Terrain. Her action advance, energy regen, increased damage, and defense ignores all significantly benefit Himeko Nova. However, the upgrade is not as dramatic as it is for Evernight because Himeko Nova already has plenty of team building options. Still, Robin is expected to become one of Himeko Nova's strongest supports, especially when paired with enough Astral Express teammates. Robin Summer is shaping out to be Aglaya's best support yet. Her fever state buffs last much better with Aglaya because they are not tied directly to Aglaya, allowing her to maintain strong buffs despite taking extremely frequent actions. Aglaya's constant attacks, follow-ups, and Garment Maker turns also generate huge amounts of vibes for Robin, while benefiting from her energy regen. The synergy is extremely strong. The likely premium team is Aglaya, Robin Summer, Cyrene, Permancer, or Hyacinth. Robin Summer is also shaping out to be the best in-slot support for Saber. Her energy regen and action advance directly complement Saber playstyle, and the arrival of Gilgamesh makes their synergy even stronger. For players running Saber and Gilgamesh, Robin should be a high priority pool. Robin Summer is a strong upgrade for Ashblade team, especially in a lineup with Morton X Blade, Ashvale, Robin Summer, and Assist team. She synergizes well with both Blade and Ashvale, making already powerful core even stronger. However, while Robin improves the team's performance, she does not necessarily become Ashblade's best in-slot support. For the Herta, Robin provides a noticeable upgrade thanks to her team-wide buffs, action advance, and energy regen. She works especially well in dual DPS teams alongside characters like Morton X Blade, allowing the Herta to take more actions while also benefiting from Robin's buff. Final is another character who benefits heavily from Robin. She can maintain her fever state while he is inside his ultimate, allowing him to benefit from her buffs throughout most of his transformation. Her action advance and energy regen leads to additional core flame generation that will make Robin fit his kit extremely well. For characters like Anaxia, Archer, and Aventurine Waveflare, Robin is still useful, but their existing teams are already very strong. Anaxia generally has better synergy with Seridra, while Archer already has a well-established team with Rin, Sparkle, and Sustain. Aventurine can also work with Robin, but he has a stronger options with Ashblade or a dedicated Elation team. Scylla can benefit from Robin's buff and action advance, but the main concern is vibe generation. Even though Scylla takes plenty of turns through the Resurgence, she may not generate enough vibes consistently by herself, meaning Robin would rely heavily on the rest of the team to maintain her buffs. Ekron and Facial are in a similar situation. Both can benefit from Robin's general buffs, but their strongest teams already have established cores that makes replacing their current teams less appealing. Robin can improve them, especially in sustainless setup, but she is not necessarily the character you should pull specifically for these teams. Overall, Robin Summer is extremely flexible and can technically work with almost every DPS, but her value depends heavily on how well a team can generate vibes and utilize her action advance, energy regen, defense ignore, and team-wide buffs. So I think that's all about Robin Summer build preparation guides and some other topics worth mentioning like her vertical investments. So far, are you guys gonna pull Robin Summer? In which team do you want to pair her with? Please comment down below. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button, turn on notification as well so you won't be missing out on any of my style content. I will see you guys on my next one. Bye bye!